That day, as I was sweeping the gate after returning from work, a very strange girl appeared. Without a single word of greeting, she walked straight up to me, uttered some baffling words, and then went straight into the house. Looking like a maid like this, it'd be strange if your husband didn't have a mistress. I've been married for nearly 3 years now. Not a long time, but long enough to understand many things about married life. It's not a nightmare like many women experience, but for me, being a daughter-in-law living with her in-laws is truly not easy. My husband's family only has one son, so it was inevitable that I would have to live with my parents-in-law. My husband also has an older sister, who is nearly 40 but still unmarried. I heard she once had a deep relationship that lasted almost 10 years, starting from her school days. The two families were very close, just waiting for him to finish his studies abroad before getting married. But no one could have expected it. A sudden accident took his life less than 2 months after he returned home. My sister-in-law is a doctor. You probably wouldn't find it hard to imagine her. An old maid, nearly 40, unmarried, and successful, so perhaps being difficult is a matter of course. How to put it? She isn't unreasonable, but her coldness and strictness make me hesitant to even approach her just from looking at her. Is there any daughter-in-law out there who is more afraid of her sister-in-law than her mother-in-law, like I am? I have polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, so having children wasn't as easy for me as for other women my age. My mother-in-law suggested I let her sister-in-law check on me, but I just obediently agreed and then let it be. To be honest, just seeing her made me reluctant to talk, let alone discuss medical examinations. After countless months of running around to various clinics, luck finally smiled at me. Thanks to a skilled doctor, I became pregnant after nearly 2 years of trying. My husband's family was overjoyed, especially my mother-in-law. She had been retired for over a year, and now, knowing she was about to have a grandchild, she went around bragging to the whole neighborhood. Watching her made me feel even more excited. When the pregnancy reached 14 weeks, I heard the doctor congratulate me. "Looks like Mom." Honestly, I felt a little disappointed. I had really hoped it would be a boy, because more than anyone, I wanted to give my husband a son to lean on in old age. It's not just men who prefer sons, but whatever heaven gives, one must be grateful and cherish it. The journey for my child to find me was difficult, and the 9-month, 10-day journey was no easier. I had a threatened miscarriage when I was just under 5 months pregnant. From then on, I didn't dare go anywhere by motorbike. I only took taxis to work and back home. Our intimate marital life was also strictly forbidden because of it. At that time, I couldn't think of anything other than protecting my child. I believed our marital bond wasn't defined by just those few months. I believed he would understand and sympathize. But it turned out he didn't. It wasn't until I was more than 8 months pregnant that I discovered the bitter truth. That day, as I was sweeping the gate after returning from work, a very strange girl appeared. Without a single word of greeting, she walked straight up to me, uttered some baffling words, and then went straight into the house. Looking like a maid like this, it'd be strange if your husband didn't have a mistress. Was she talking about me? But who was she, and why did she dare to walk straight into my living room like that? I quickly closed the gate and ran into the house to find out what was going on. Everything was beyond my imagination. She threw a stack of pregnancy papers on the table, not forgetting to rub her belly as she spoke. "Your husband's son is already 19 weeks old. A woman like you is pitiful, really. But my child deserves to be in this big, beautiful house instead of the cramped rented room his mother is currently living in. I wonder where the grandmother is." Hearing her arrogant and self-satisfied tone, I held the stack of papers, my heart feeling like it had stopped. "My mother-in-law is busy. I don't know who you are, but I demand you get out of my house right now before everyone else gets home from work," I yelled at her, my voice on the verge of tears. She laughed loudly and became even more defiant. "If they come home, even better. We can consider it an official meeting with the paternal family. Right, son?" I didn't know what to do when my sister-in-law, who had returned at some point, walked into the house. "Do we have a guest, Em?" As soon as my sister-in-law's voice rang out, I don't know why, but that Mistress immediately covered her face. I handed the pregnancy papers to my sister, unable to hold back my tears. "She says she's pregnant with Peas," my husband's name. My sister-in-law, for some reason, walked straight up to the woman, knocked away her hand covering her face, and proceeded to kick her out. Do you think the society is that easy to fool? You might fool others, but you will never fool my family. Take these ridiculous pregnancy papers and throw them in the trash. Don't you ever let me see you lurking around here again. Watching my sister-in-law yell and the mistress run off in a panic, I was completely stunned. It turned out that woman, knowing my husband's family was well off, had gone to get fake pregnancy papers to quickly kick me out of the house, but she unexpectedly went to the exact clinic owned by my sister-in-law. If my sister-in-law hadn't come home at that exact moment, I probably wouldn't have known how to handle her.